Papier-mâché is one of my favorite things to do, and there are some different techniques that I like to use when I'm creating papier-mâché, and I'm going to demonstrate some right now. One of them is I just tore a square of newspaper out, because if you're making a head or a round ball, basically, which could become the head of your creature, what I do is I set that down on my workspace, and then I crumple up some more paper to be inside, because I like to use the least amount of tape and get the most amount of work out of it. Alright, so I'm going to put that in here, and then I like to take this newspaper and I just wrap it up. So I roll it, and I pull this over here like this, and like this, and now I only need tape in a small section rather than all the way around this ball. And one of the other things that I do when I'm preparing my work area is I actually have tape that's torn off, and I line it up along my edge of the table where I'm working, so that when my hands are full trying to hold this paper ball in place, I can just reach and grab some tape. And every so often you just have to replenish your tape area. But there, now I have something I could use as a head, I could use it as the hip. If you smush it down some, you could create a hip or something out of that for an animal, which is typically what I like to create. Alright, if you need something longer, then I leave the newspaper, I just open it up and so it's the long way, and we do the same thing. Just crumple up a bunch of newspapers, and I'm using a lot of the sale ads, especially the glossy stuff. It's fine for in the middle, it doesn't work well for the later process, like when you're doing the skin, because the glossy stuff tends not to hold up very well. It doesn't pick up the glue. It doesn't soak in, doesn't hold, and it pops off, and then you've got frustrated little artists who want to know why their stuff's falling apart. Well, if it doesn't get absorbed, that's the problem. Alright, so I've got several pieces here, and this might be longer than what I want. I might actually put a little bit more newspaper in. We're going to make what I call the submarine sandwich hold. So we put all that in there, and I say, okay, we're just going to wrap it up. And this newspaper is a little smaller than what I'm accustomed to, so it might not work like I want. I was trying to find something that fit under the camera fairly well. Alright, so we do the sub sandwich here, and then we just tape it. And that can become the body of an animal, because quite often everybody wants to run for paper tubes, and sometimes they're in abundance, sometimes they're not. But then everything starts to look like it was made out of paper tubes. Not very interesting. So, here we go. If you've stuffed it well, it'll hold its shape. If it's very, very spongy, it's more like a pillow, well, probably not going to be solid enough to hold your armature together. Alright, so this is what I usually do when I'm trying to create quick and easy parts with a low budget. So there we go. Very inexpensive newspaper. We've got lots of that stuff laying around after ads and leftover newspapers. They're easy to collect. Put those together. You can connect them however you see fit. Okay, like I said, it can be hooked on the side and become part of a hip. Obviously, I would probably stuff it less for that. But that's how I like to roll up newspaper and create parts for a papier-mâché armature.